Joining us now from North Dakota State University, head men's basketball coach David Richman, student athletes Sam Griesel, Tyree, Eady, and Rocky Kreuser. Format will remain the same. We'll have questions potentially from the main. We also are on Zoom, so you might get a Zoom question. Please state your name and affiliation prior to asking the question. Format again will also be an opening statement from coach, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes. Go ahead, coach.
First and foremost, want to congratulate Eric. Eric and his wife Felicia are dear friends of ours. I love those guys. Happy for them. They had an historic year, obviously. You can argue for a lot of reasons, maybe the best year in Summer League Mid-Continent history. So congrats to them. I wish them nothing but the best moving forward. I mean, it's obviously pretty evident that you see the emotion on all of us four here. And I wasn't going to do this last press conference without the three of these young men. It's hard because it mattered. It's really hard because it mattered. The whole goal of our program is to become the best version of yourselves by serving others. And these three young men, individually in their own right, but more importantly, collectively, have simply raised the standard of Bison basketball to an all-time high. They've left a legacy. Rocky Kreuser is the epitome of what a Bison basketball player should be about. Tyree is the most influential young man that I've had the opportunity to coach, and what he did for us in the Walk With Us campaign. And I've done just a terrible job of talking about Tyree, Eady, the player, the versatility, and who he is to us. The young man to my right is, I got 4 daughters and I got a son, all of these guys. Sam Griesel and I, like some of the conversations you're not supposed to have, the conversations that we have. So this is hard, but it's okay that it's hard, because it's supposed to be hard when you pour this much into it. And this program, myself, our family is forever indebted to these three young men. Let's take questions.
Go ahead with questions for the student athletes.
Yeah. Nick Cousin, KBRR, for the three of you guys, just how would you kind of sum up your career right now?
The past 4 years have been everything and more that I could have dreamt of. It's been the most fun 4 years of my life. And a lot of that has to do with the man to my left and the two guys to my right. Throughout my 4 years, played a lot of basketball games with these two guys. Anytime I look to my left and I see Tyree, Eady, and look to my right and see Rocky Kreuser, I always loved our chances. And like I said, it was just, it's been a dream come true. And I'm kind of speechless. It's just been a really fun ride.
Kind of same thing as Sam. Everything I envisioned coming here. I love everyone on the team. I love all my past teammates. I love Sam, Rocky. I love Coach with all my heart. I've met friends I'm going to have for the rest of my life, and bonds I'm going to cherish the rest of my life. And I wouldn't go back and change anything if I had to go back 5 years.
It's been the best 5 years of my life. Building the relationships with coaches and teammates has easily been the best part about playing college basketball here at SDSU. And I'm just thankful for the experience.
This question comes from Tim Hill of the Reaching the Summit podcast via Zoom. This is for Sam. In a rock fight type game, you're leading the charge, scoring and defending, but what do you tell your guys in those tense moments as a leader of the team?
I think staying confident, staying poised. And that's one thing that in the first half I didn't lead by example at all in that aspect. But yeah, just obviously the environment was pretty crazy and a lot of fun, but just trying to keep us poised.
Taylor Budge, WDOI Sports. Rocky, this one for you. How frustrating is it in a game like this when the shots just aren't falling for you, especially in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit frustrating, but that's where, you gotta grow and move on to the next play and try to affect the game in other ways, on the defensive end, try to get stops for your team, try to get other guys involved. Just didn't do a good enough job tonight.
Ross Uglin, Bison Report. Tyree, you guys did an excellent job defensively on Baylor. What were their guys that weren't Baylor able to do tonight that gave you guys some trouble?
I mean, there's made plays at the game. I know Zeke Mayo, the freshman, he's going to be a really good player in this league. He made a lot of big plays late. Charlie Easley is a warrior. He made a lot of big shots late too. But, I think we just came out the first half a little flat. All of us, the leaders, come out there and play harder. But they're a great team. Congratulations to them. We didn't come out and play our game for the first half, and that really hurt us in the end.
Mike McFeely from the Forum. Rocky, just a comment on Doug Wilson. He's just such a tough guy in the low post and getting after those offensive rebounds. Is what's it like to try to defend that?
Yeah, last night was playing against Elijah Lufile, who's just a bigger body. Doug Wilson is extremely athletic. But what people don't understand is he's also a very physical kid. So he has the combination of speed and agility with all that physicality. He's a great player.
Sam, this one for you. You guys only led once in this game, but it came from your shot. Did it kind of give you a little bit of confidence that, hey, we can take the lead and maybe do something here? Or what was it just like knowing that you guys only had one lead during this game, but it was a close battle throughout?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I look to my left and I see Tyree, Eady, and look to my right and see Rocky Kreuser, I love our chances in any game, any situation. And that's always stayed consistent, especially throughout this year. I think we saw in especially some conference games, we were down a lot, even in the second half, and we were able to come back and pull out the W. But tonight we just weren't able to do that.
Sam, just a comment. I know Tyree touched on it some, but it just seemed like every time you guys got close or even when you got ahead, they just always had an answer. Whether it was Doug, whether it was Charlie, just somebody always kind of stepped up. Is that what makes it so tough? Is that just have so many places to go? Or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really talented team. At some point, kind of with some of the shots they hit, just tip your cap. And obviously we can execute a little bit better, but just props to them.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, thanks, fellas. You can head back to
Thank
locker
you,
room.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Go ahead with questions for Coach.
Hey, Coach, what's the first thing that you told those three in the locker room after the game?
Oh, I love them. Thank you. And it's countless adjectives of thankfulness and love.
Sam touched on it. You've been in situations like this where you were close and you came back and won. Was there no doubt that this was going to happen again, that you guys would come back and take the lead?
I mean, that's how your mentality has to be, and I thought we were there right to the very end. And, they made some big plays. I mean, we hold the fourth leading field goal percentage team in the country to under 44%. We're in a great environment like this, and we gave our guys battled. Our guys really battled. And, unfortunately, a couple breaks here or there didn't go our way.
I'll ask you about Doug Wilson too, Dave. And he just a machine around the back.
He's just dynamic, Mike. I mean, that's the word that comes up. I mean, he's so explosive. He's quick with the bounce. He's quick on the second bounce off. He jumps twice before you've jumped once sometimes. And Rocky's spot on. I mean, not only is he athletic, he's physical, he's strong. That's a very talented young man that you can just see. Oh man, I don't know. Probably a little bit like us, that in the quarters, they were finding their way. And that young man was pretty juiced up last night and again tonight.
You hold Shireman pretty well in check, and he hit the big one at the end. But then Easley is the guy that hits. I think he hit 3 big 3-pointers. And again, it goes back to that. Just you can only guard so many guys apparently.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing a good team. You're playing a really good team, and any mistake, any decision that you make that they have a counter for, they make you pay for it. And even when they probably didn't have their best night offensively, when it mattered, they made big shots, Shireman easily, and then they made their free throws.
Coach, it certainly hasn't been anything you've done in the past. Any thoughts about any other postseason play beyond this?
You know, probably not with this group, Russ. I mean, there's a standard and expectation of NCAA tournaments, and with a veteran group like this, I don't know, fill out the paperwork for the NIT. I think that's highly doubtful, but we'd certainly hop on that board. But that'll be it.
Last question over here.
This question comes from Tim Hill, the Reaching the Summit podcast via Zoom. Neither team deserved to miss out at this year's tournament. Do you think a night like this shows this league should be considered a multi-bid league?
Well, yeah, I mean, you play a bunch of situations and scenarios in your head as a head coach, and if we would have been fortunate enough to win, I mean, what South Dakota State did this year, I think Oral Roberts made a run last year, and you saw two really good teams go toe to toe. It's very good basketball, they're very good coaches. It's a very competitive league. I love it. I love to be challenged. I love to grow outside of my comfort zone, and that's what this league provides.